Shri Ganesha Sharada Gurubhyo Namaha Agajanana Padmarkam Gajananam Aharnisham Anekadam Tam Bhaktanam Ekadantam Upasmahi. Welcome to all for this session on Ganesha Purana to chapter 70. In the previous chapter, we have seen how Kritavirya's father had got all the information from Brahma regarding the Samkasta Chathurthi Vratha, and it was put in a book, and that book was handed over to Kritavirya while Kritavirya's father was appearing in his dreams. And then Kritavirya's father told him that by performing this Sankasta Chaturthi Vrata, all the past evils of Kritavirya will be wiped off, and then he will be bestowed with a son. Then Kritavirya, the king, invited his ministers, invited wise people in his town, and then discussed with them regarding that Sankasta Chaturthi Vrata. And under the guidance of sage Atri, who was his family guide, he conducted the Sankasta Chaturthi Vrata, and with the blessing of Lord Gajanana, he got a son. Then Shurasena naturally was more interested to know how exactly it was defined by Brahma. So Shurasena asked Indra, tell me how Brahma taught Kritavirya this success giving Vrata of the highest quality called Sankasta of the Chaturthi or Sankastahara Chaturthi Vrata. Indra then started explaining him. In Satyaloka, the very fortunate king Kritavirya's father bowed to the omniscient Brahma, who was comfortably seated, and questioned him. So Kritavirya's father, who went from Pitraloka to that Satyaloka, he asked him about this Sankasta Chaturthi Vrata. O God of gods, disposer of the universe, destroyer of the pain, for those who are obeisant, tell me whatever I request of you, and that is in my heart. How can men who live in conditions of distress, men whose minds are confused, men whose minds are tormented by anxiety, and friends who are separated, be successful in attaining something that is rare? How can they constantly acquire money, wealth, prosperity, and sons, O Lord? And what can humans do to remove all their troubles? Then Brahma told him, listen, O king, I am going to describe that vrata which gives every success. By its mere performance, a man will obtain whatever can be imagined. During the day, a person whose mind is clear should smear himself with herbs and white sesame. Then he should make a declaration to perform the ritual, and after meditating on the god Gajanana, on the night of the rising of the moon, on the night after the rise of the moon, and on the fourth day of the dark fortnight, that is the Chaturthi day in the Krishnapaksha. That's Krishnapaksha is a period of the month where it starts from full or just after the full moon day and goes on till after the no moon day. We should devoutly worship Ganesha with mantras from the sacred text, O king. Then king asked him, Brahma, how should one worship Gajanana, the god of gods, as a favor to one who has made a request? Tell me this in detail. Then Brahma told him, on the night of the rising of the moon, night after the rising of the moon, after completing the obligatory rituals, one should worship a pedestal for Ganesha with uncrushed flowers on a spot that is clean, smeared with cow dung, and contains a small pavilion. On the pedestal, one should place a pot containing the five jewels, and on top of it, one should place a golden lid suitable for a pot. However, if that is unavailable, one should place on top of it whichever one can, whether it is silver, copper, or mere bamboo or a linen cloth. On the top of that, one should design a yantra as prescribed in the Agamas, and on that, one should place a golden image of Ganesha with these characteristics. An image of Ganesha should have a single tooth, a huge body. It's basically tooth here basically means tusk. A single because Ganesha is having an elephant head. So both tusks should not be there, only one tusk, a single tusk, a huge body resembling burnished gold, pendulous belly, large eyes, blazing like the sun, mounted on the back of a rat. That was his vehicle, fanned by the hosts of it, fly whisks, and with Shesha as his sacred thread. One should contemplate this Gajanana. This part is the meditation part. Come, O Indra of the kings of obstacles. He says Indra here basically stands for supreme, or supreme among, and the supreme among those who clear the obstacles. Keep me away from problems. Stay in my presence for as long as I am performing this particular vrata. This invocation is introduced with the mantra beginning thousand headed. Overlord of the law host, may there be obeisance to you, destroyer of every success. O God, accept this seat and keep me away from problems. The seat is introduced with this alone is the Purusha. Here, basically, the mantras, original mantras are in Sanskrit. Here, in the previous part, the invocation is introduced with a mantra beginning thousand-headed means Sahasraksha Sahasrapad. It's basically a Purusha Sooktha mantra, and then it starts off with the mantra by name, a thousand-headed. To start with the invocation is basically Sahasrashirsha Purusha Sahasraksha, and then it will continue and then onwards, overlord of the host, may there be obeisance to you, bestower of every success. O God, accept this seat. This is basically to offer the asana, a seat for the Ganesha to be seated. This invocation is introduced with the mantra beginning thousand headed. That's basically, sorry, this alone is the Purusha. Purusha yevedam sarvam. Then continue, son of Uma, may there be obeisance to you, obeisance to you, God who loves Modakas, accept this water from your feet. O God, keep me away from problems. The water for the feet is introduced with the mantra, He is of such an extent. This is basically we invite a guest to our home. We offer them to be seated in a place and then we wash their feet. That is basically because they have come from outside, so we need to wash their feet. That's how exactly a guest will be treated in a home. Exactly in the same fashion, the god also must be offered. The mantra here is Etavanasya Mahima. Then it continues. Open pendulous belly, may there be obeisance to you. That's basically Lambodara because of his big belly. Accept this water for the reception and fruit and jewels, O Lord of gods, and keep me away from problems. The water for the reception is introduced with the mantra. This is like the giving anybody a welcome drink. So here a pure water or a scented water is offered and the mantra to be used with this is three parts above and that in Sanskrit it's called as Tripadurdhva Udait Purusha. And then it continues. Accept the five immortal substances which include milk, sour milk, ghee, sugar, and honey, and keep me away from your problems. Once the guest is seated and offered the drink, we all allow the guest to have a good bath. So here, since it is the Gajanana, so we offer him the bath with initially bath with milk, ghee, sugar, sour milk, and honey, and then we offer bath with a pure water or a slightly scented water. I doubt devotee bath you using water taken from the confluence of Ganga, Narmada, and Chandrabhaga. Me away from the problem. The bath is invoked with a mantra from the Purusha Sooktha. Tasma Dvirada Jayata. Here, in fact, usually whenever water is offered in India, we offer it as though the water is from our sacred river Ganga, Sindhu, Saraswati, Krishna, Gange, cha Yamune, Chaiva, Godavari, Saraswati, Narmade, Sindhu, Kaveri. These are seven sacred rivers of the country, spread all over the country. So, because of that reason, we assume that the water that's available anywhere is from these sacred rivers. And then Elephant, O elephant face, obeisance to you. Accept this pair of garments. Once that the god is bathed in the water, he is offered with a pair of garments. O supreme lord and overlord of the host, keep me away from problems. The garment is invoked with a mantra that is sacrifice. Yet purushena havisha. It are yeah. That is the mantra during the time of bathing. And then Ayyagnam Barhishe Prokshan. So we offer with this particular mantra, we offer the cloths to the god. It is as good as saying that we are inviting a great guest to our home. Vinayaka, obeisance to you, obeisance to the ex carrier, accept this sacred thread, keep me away from problems. The sacred thread is invoked with the mantra from that. Here, sacred thread is something that is worn by every Dvija, Brahmana, Kshatriya, and Vaishyas, and they use it for chanting or reciting the Gayatri mantra, and that reminds them of lot of their qualities and reminds them about their dharma to be performed towards a society, and it also reminds them all those nitya karmas which they are supposed to be doing it. Now, since we have put a new fresh statue for the image for the purpose of worship, it is essential after the bathing and after offering the clothes, we need to offer this sacred thread called as Egnopavita. And for this, there is a mantra in Purusha Sooktha Egnopavitam Paramam Pavitram. Likewise, it continues. O Isha's son, may there be obeisance to you whose vehicle is a mouse. Take this sandalwood, O God, and keep me away from problems. The sandalwood is invoked from the mantra called as Tasma Adyagna Sarbahudah. With that particular mantra, it continues. I'm just telling the first couple of words of that particular mantra. So with that particular mantra, we offer the gandha. It is scent. It just like the, how exactly people in the West or even in India, after they're bathing and after they wear the cloth, they spray the scent to their body. But here it has a much more important meaning. The scent that we are offering is basically the sandalwood. It on this on one side make the body a well with a well fragrance, but on the other side sandalwood has lot of medicinal qualities, especially just after being offered the cold water bath. It is essential by applying the sandalwood paste we avoid any kind of coldness, cold like fever to come. Of course, for the god no fever would come, but here we treat god as someone who is our close friend, and we are trying to take the best care of him. I have given you captivating uncrushed flowers, rice grain, and ghee. Keep me away from problems. And observe here the repeated words called as keep me away from problem. And it is with our devotion, we have a trust in the God that by requesting him, he will certainly going to keep me away from problem. And it is that particular aspect that I'm requesting someone who is a greater force, who is capable of taking, who is taking care of the entire Brahmanda, who created the Brahmanda, who maintained this Brahmanda, to destroy this whole world. And to such a great force, I am asking for such a force to keep all my problems away. And with that, I'll be filled with the confidence that my problems will certainly going to be solved. Okay. Then, overlord of the host, accept flowers of many kinds, including the Durva grass, jasmine, and champaka. Free me from all the problems of life. The flowers are invoked with the mantra. From that comes the heart. Tasmadashva ajayanta. O pendulous belly, your body large, your banner grey, accept this fragrant incense. O Lord of the gods, keep me away from problems. The incense is invoked with a mantra, from that comes the Purusha. Yat Purusham Yadaduhu Adidhavya Kalpayan. Here the speciality is we have given the bath to the god. We offered him the scent. We offered him cloth, everything. We have already seated him in a place. Now we are about to offer the food. But before offering the food, it is better to put some kind of a small incense fragrance around so that the place where the god will be taking the food will be filled with a wonderful fragrance, but at the same time the light smoke that is coming out of it will ward off any kind of insect which would trouble the god while he is having the food. O cause of the destruction of darkness and obstacles, overlord of the 30, accept this lamp, keep me away from the problem. The lamp is invoked with the mantra. This is the Brahmin. Brahmanosya mukhamasit. So here we offer the lamp, we put the lamp in front of the god while he is taking the food. It is usually the procedure that the food will be put in front of the god first, and before asking him to receive the food, we offer the incense sticks and the small smoke and the fragrance coming out of it. That is called a dhupa. And then the deepa. We offer the lamp in front of him so as to put enough light to be fallen on those food items. And then is the point where we start asking the God to accept the food. O God, accept this food offering made from clarified butter, cooked food, sugar, milk, laddukas, flour cakes, and modakas. The food is invoked with the mantra, the moon is his mind. Chandramama, Chandramamanaso jatah. So, with this particular mantra, we start offering the God to receive the food. And once God has received all the food, basically the God may not eat the food like the human beings. If the God just have a look at that food, it is assumed that with the vision he had received it, and then whatever is available there, it is considered to be uchesta, that God, whatever is left out after the God has received it, and then that food will be given to everybody as a prasad. And then at the end of it, after we offer all those cooked foods, we offer him several fruits. Like usually, as a good practice, at the end of having a cooked food, one used to have the fruits. O Lord of the gods, take this auspicious good fruit, namely pomegranate, mango, grapes, and coconut, and keep me away from the problem. And here we invoke the mantra Nabhya asid antarikta Ishtam. And then at the end of the eating, we offer the tambula. Accept, O God, accept this betel nut which contains the leaves of the nagavalli, cardamom, cloves, and areca nut. It's also called as pan, and keep me away from problems. So this way we offer the tambula. And then, usually, whenever a guest is invited to the home after they had the food or while they are having the food, we offer them a small coin as a token of honorarium for coming to our home and accept the food. So, here also for the God, we request him, please accept this honorarium of gold, O God, which gives every success and causes joy for everyone and keep me away from the problem. And the mantra that is to be recited at this time is Saptasya Sanvaridaya. And then, after picking up 21 blades of Durva grass and with concentration complete, one should worship the god to the best of one's ability with these mantras. Obeisance, these are with these mantra, its original Sanskrit mantra is there. The same thing I'm telling this here in with the English translation, that with that offering we go on offering one blade of grass with every mantra. 21 times I will be repeating that. Obeisance to the overlord of hosts, obeisance to Uma's son, obeisance to the remover of evil. With each we offer one blade of Durva grass. Obeisance to him who has one tusk, Ekadanta, obeisance to elephant face, obeisance to him whose vehicle is the mouse, obeisance to Vinayaka, obeisance to Isha's son, obeisance to him who gives every success, obeisance to him who has pendulous belly, Lambodara, obeisance to him who has trunk on his face, obeisance to him who loves sweetmeats, obeisance to him who causes the destruction of obstacles, obeisance to him whom everyone praises, obeisance to the Lord of the gods, obeisance to him who has elephant ears, obeisance to him whom everyone praises, obeisance to the Lord of the gods, obeisance to him whose sacred thread is a snake, obeisance to him who has the moon on his brow, obeisance to him who holds an axe, obeisance to the overlord of obstacles, obeisance to him who grants knowledge. So, just for your reference, let me just repeat them again in Sanskrit. Ganadhipaya namaha, Umaputraya namaha, Aghanashanaya namaha, Ekadantaya namaha, Ibhavaktraya namaha, Mushakavahanaya namaha, Vinayakaya namaha, Ishaputraya namaha, Sarvasiddhipadaya namaha, Lambodaraya namaha, Vakratundaya namaha, Modakapriyaya namaha, Vigna Vidhvamsakartre namaha, विश्ववन्द्याय नमः अमरेशाय नमः गजकर्णाय नमः नागयज्ञोपवीतिने नमः बालचन्द्राय नमः परशुधारिणे नमः विघ्नाधिपाय नमः विद्याप्रदाय नमः. I think that is it. I think that must be making it as 21. Vignadhipaya namaha, Vidyapradaya namaha. So with that, there are 21, 21 different namaskaras with which we offer the Durva grass. O Lord, accept this offering of lights made from camphor wood stacks, which destroys the entire flood of evil, and free me from problems. You alone create the universe, O elephant face. You alone protect the universe, O God. You alone destroy the universe, the Lord of all. You alone are the self of the universe shining outwards. I bow to God, Lord of the hosts, the Lord. Lord of obstacles, who is proficient in removing obstacles, who removes his devotees' pain, who is proficient in freeing his devotees, who gives knowledge, who is the cause of the Vedas primordial, such is the homage. In this way, one should eulogize him as prescribed, bow repeatedly to him, and perform 21 circumambulation insofar as one can. This offering of 21 circumambulation is a very good yogic exercise which will keep one very fit. Without having worshipped you first, O Ganesha, there are fools who strive for goals they have resolved upon. Inevitably, they are unsuccessful in the world. I know all your powers. Here, there is an assumption which is basically a truth or is basically a trust. From assumption to truth to the trust, there is a long way to go, and that there is a trust among the people that there is an invisible force that is keeping this whole Brahmanda in a place. That invisible force, who has no name, who has no form, a particular form or anything, it is that invisible force that is maintaining the whole world, whole Brahmanda. To that invisible force, we are making a request to take care of our life and remove the problems in our life. And that gives us the it's not about whether it removes the problem, it's basically gives us the confidence to face the problem with the trust that the God is always with us to face whatever that comes in our life. And that is the essence of Sankasta Chathurthi Vratha. Then, do the accompaniment of 16 ritual practices, one should conduct worship with this mantra: Om Abhisens Heramba, who is exhilarated by spirituous liquor, keep me away from troubles. So, here it's our trust that helps us to overcome all the obstacle that is coming in our life. So here 16 ritual practices are based merely to enforce our trust further. The wise men should also worship the world protectors led by Indra on all sides. Insofar as he can, he should then prepare sweetmeats cooked in clarified butter, as well as cooked beans, sesame, other foods, and betel. Then, after picking up 21 blades of Durva grass and with concentration complete, one should devotedly worship the god with this list of names: Obeisance to you, Lord of hosts, Uma's son, giver of security, one tusk, elephant face, whose vehicle is the mouse, Vinayaka, Isha's son, who gives every. The same thing I had already repeated earlier while explaining about offering of the Durva grass. So here it gets repeated once again. Who gives every success, obeisance to you, who has pendulous belly, who has a trunk on his face, Kratunda, he removes all the evils. Vignaharta, who causes the destruction of obstacles. Vignahara, Lord of the immortals, who is praised by everyone. Obeisance to you, elephant face, Gajamukha, to you whose sacred thread is a snake. Nagayagnopavitini, Nagayagnopavita. Obeisance to you on whose brow is the moon, Bhalachandra. Obeisance to you who hold an axe, Parashu. Obeisance to you, overlord of obstacles, who grants the entirety of knowledge. One should worship the god as such and with separate pieces of durva grass, saying, having regard of this act of worship, which I have correctly performed in accord with my capacity, please be satisfied with it and immediately fulfill the wishes in my heart. Remove all the obstacles and evils that have beset me, and by your favor, I will carry out all my tasks. Bring about the removal of my enemies, wisdom, and elevate my friends. After having requested this and bowed repeatedly to the Lord of the gods, one should perform 108 offerings with sweetmeats. O king, in order to complete the vrata, or perform a smaller number with laddukas, pulse cakes, and 21 fruits, having then clothed oneself in a red garment, one should present oneself before one's teacher, saying, Obeisance to you, overlord of the host, who gives every success that can be imagined. By this gift of sweetmeats, keep me away from problems. After offering them to the god, that same thing will bring it to our teacher who had taught us this vrata, and we offer those things to him. It's called as upayanadana. After hearing this meritorious tale of self-composed men, man should offer water 7 times to the moon. This is basically arghya pradana. O king, with this mantra, moon arisen from the milk ocean, born from Atri's eye, you and Rohini accept this water offering for the reception I have performed, I have offered. One should then request forbearance from the God of gods, feed the Brahmins, and then feed oneself with the reminder of what was offered to the Brahmins. 7 mouthfuls should be taken silently according to one's capability and at one's pleasure. All this should be performed according to as prescribed for the Sankasta Chathurthi Vratha. Thus ends the 70th chapter of Upasana Khanda of the glorious Ganesha Purana, in which the details of how 16 offerings need to be done to Gajanana as part of the Sankastahara Chaturthi Vrata is being explained. Observe here, offerings are any kind of things, or sweetmeat, or even incense sticks, or even the deepa, or even those dupa, vastra, all these are only symbolic in nature. It is how we feel is much more important. In the deep, in the heart of our heart, if one feels that I am really inviting the world force, that which is capable of creating this world, maintaining this world, and destroying this world, one such world force called as Brahma, Parabrahma, in the form of Gajanana, I am inviting him to my home and offering him the seed, offering him the water to drink and water to wash his feet, and as well offering him the bath and offering him the food. And with that, I'm trying to please him, and I'm requesting him to get pleased by whatever that I could able to offer. This gives us the confidence that I have pleased the force that is maintaining this entire world. Of course, I gave a name for it as Gajanana, and a shape for it, for there's something that doesn't have any shape, that's something that doesn't have any form, something that doesn't have any name. I gave a name as Gajanana, I gave the shape or the form as a elephant headed god, and then with that I get personally a satisfaction that I have pleased the world forces by pleasing the supreme among the world forces. Now that I have pleased all the world forces, so I will end up with that trust that all my obstacles will be removed. Namaste Sharada Devi Kashmira Puramasini Swamaham Prarthaye Nityam Vidya Danancha Dehime. Goodbye.